interpersonal communication and the use of I language. It's pretty standard fare for an interpersonal class, but it might not be to some of you who've never had an interpersonal class. By the way, from here on, I'll refer to interpersonal communication just as IPC. So bear with my acronym, at least you know what it is now. One of the primary goals of interpersonal communication is obviously clarifying communication. And by clarifying communication in an interpersonal relationship, quite often we are de-escalating confrontation and being more compassionate listeners and communicators. So, one of the ways we can do that is by avoiding the use of you language and encouraging or increasing our use of I language. So, for example, my husband is late coming home from work and I have fixed dinner, and by the time he gets home, dinner is ruined. So I have two ways of responding to that situation. One way is to say, "You're always late and dinner's ruined. You need to call me when you're going to be late because I didn't even know you were going to be late, and I've wasted all this time on this food that you can't eat." How does that sound? That sounds very accusatory, doesn't it? You. So the alternative is to say something along the lines of, "I wish you would have called to tell me you were going to be late because I didn't know, and if you had told me, I would have made plans to start dinner later, or maybe I could have just put it on warm instead of letting it continue to cook. I don't understand, or I am hurt, or I am frustrated," words like that. Instead of "you make me angry, you are bad." All right, so that's the assignment, to pay attention to you language and I language, and then to use it. Pay attention to it, observe it, evaluate it, and use it. So I generally have students do a discussion about this. This time I had them upload, well, actually they didn't have to upload it. They could if they wanted to, or they could do the video live in Canvas in the discussion. So basically what I'm doing is having them do a media file for their discussion as opposed to a more classic typed discussion response. And I'm really excited about this. The initial feedback with students was, wrinkle their nose and roll their eyes, and I don't want to videotape myself. I don't want to listen to myself. I don't want to watch myself. But after they did it, the feedback has been very positive. They enjoy listening to each other and learning more about each other and putting a face with the name in the discussion. So this is an assignment that I will continue to do this way. And in fact, I'm thinking about ways of expanding all discussions to be media uploads as opposed to typed discussion responses. So that's this week's high engagement strategy in the classroom. This time it was interpersonal communication class, media uploads for discussion, and the topic was I language versus you language. Thanks.